Welcome to this week's SHU Sports Report. Alongside Adam and Aratone, I'm Diana Cannizzaro. Adam, I hear there's a new leader in the NEC in women's basketball.
That's right, Diana. The Pioneers swept this past weekend to stand alone atop the standings. On Saturday, the Pioneers welcomed in state rival Central Connecticut State University to the Pitt Center, looking to push their conference record to 11-2. The game turned into the Alyssa Tarsi show as she would have a career day against the Blue Devils, pulling down 15 rebounds and scoring 22 points. Let's go to the tape. Starting off in the first here, Alyssa Tarsi, just like I said, it's her show inside for the layup. SHU up by 2. Then later in the first, CCSU to Malone here for a 2. CCSU's up by 2. Williams to Tarsi. She hits one there. SHU up 12-9. Epps to Musgrove. 3 buckets, 16-14 for CCSU. Kimmel's going to go into Castro for the 3. It's going to be 22-24 SHU. Then Kimmel there, making it 30-26. She looks really excited running back down the court. Kimmel's going to go inside to Tarsi for the layup, put it 32-26. Sacred Heart getting a couple of high fives from the teammates there. Brianna Jacobs to Kiana Patterson. CCSU 3, 56-68. Finally in the fourth, Emma Strahan for 3. And CCSU would lose 75-69. The Pioneers moved on to Robert Morris to round out their 4-game home series. During riding their hot streak, SHU was looking for redemption for the conference opener in January when the Colonials downed Sacred Heart 78-63. The Pioneers were also in the hunt for sole possession of first place in the NEC with a win after Bryant lost in a matinee game to St. Francis Brooklyn that afternoon. Let's go to the highlights to see if the Pioneers could take over the top spot. Starting off here in the first, Megan Smith's going to hit a deep 3 for Robert Morris. Shelby Hickey is going to get the putback 2 here, making it a good bucket for SHU. Kimmel's going to go inside and drive hard for the layup here. SHU up by 2. Then Ashley Ravelli for 3. RMU is going to be up by 1. Jocelyn Jones makes a layup, and then RMU goes up by 3. Now, RMU player here going to tie it all up at 22 even. Then Ravelli for 3 here, going to put Robert Morris up by 1. Now Brown goes inside for the layup. It's tied 27 all. Castro layup. She is fouled. The basket did not count. Castro says later she's just going to put it in for 3. No foul there. SHU up by 3. Finally, Smith for RMU is going to answer back with a 3 of her own, putting RMU up by 3. Adacia Williams here with her 3. Adacia's going to get a jumper and tie it back up at 3. And then Williams with the steal here, going to put SHU up by 2. Alyssa Tarsi finished the game with her second double-double of the weekend. Her stellar performances earned the senior her first ever Choice Hotels NEC Player of the Week honor. The Pioneers move on to Fairleigh Dickinson on Saturday in Teaneck, New Jersey. Game starts at 4 p.m. and it's live on ESPN3.
The Sacred Heart men's basketball team headed to Emmitsburg, Maryland for a Northeast Conference showdown last Thursday at Mount St. Mary's. The two teams were neck and neck in the conference standings as the Mount and the Pioneers were tied for 4th place going into the game. Sacred Heart led throughout most of the first half, owning a slight 33-29 lead at halftime. The Mount gained momentum in second, taking the lead with just under 15 minutes remaining in the game. The lead exchanged hands throughout the rest of regulation, with the Pioneers taking one final lead when Tevin Falzone made 2 free throws with 1:02 remaining. The Mount would score the final 7 points of the game, knocking SHU to 7-6 in the conference with a final score of 66-61. Kane Broom led the Pioneers with 20 points. Moving on to Saturday, the men hosted in-state rival Central Connecticut State. Coming off a tough loss, the Pioneers were able to bounce back by dominating the Blue Devils. Heading into Saturday, Kane Broom needed just 16 points to become the 6th sophomore in the NEC to score 1,000 points. Broom reached the milestone without a struggle, tallying 15 points by the end of the first half, with his career total then at 999. He made a free throw with 16:01 remaining and became the 40th Pioneer in school history in the 1,000-point club. Let's jump into the game and show you how the Pioneers conquered. SHU leads by 7. Kane Broom hits a 3 to extend the lead to 9. Then Central's going to fire back with a 3. Quincy McKnight with an offensive rebound throws it up for 2 and 1. McKnight passes to Sean Hone and he'll hit a 3-pointer. SHU takes a double-digit lead. Then Broom comes firing down the court. Sacred Heart goes into the half 43-25. Broom to the free throw line for hits 1,000 points for his collegiate career, and he's now the 40th Pioneer to do so. This is the continuation of Broom's domination. He'll hit a jump shot. Mate Boyevats deep in the corner for 3. Broom again crosses over, drives to the basket to knock it in. Brandel Real is going to pass. CCSU is going to hit a basket, still down by 27. Then Broom with the steal, and he will run down the court for the score. McKnight Cole, he will easily dunk it. The Pioneers take over. Final score 87-52. The biggest victory over an opponent in the Division I era puts Sacred Heart in 5th place in the NEC at 8-6. 1 game back of a 4-way tie for first place. In addition to Broom's game-high 28 points, Quincy McKnight recorded the first double-double of his career with 16 points and 13 rebounds, and also added 5 assists to help him secure his 4th NEC Rookie of the Week award. The men travel to Smithfield, Rhode Island to face Bryant University this Thursday, February 18th at 7 p.m. Be sure to catch the action on necfrontrow.com.
You know what's great about basketball?
Tell me,
You're
Adam.
inside. You're not out in the cold. You're not freezing. The pit center's nice and warm. I'm sure Kane Broom would much rather be inside than out. I cannot believe the men's lacrosse team had their home opener this weekend.
I know, but they got lucky because the weather yesterday, well, the home opener, it was a little cold. But yesterday, it was like in the 40s. I was appreciating the rain. No more snow. Wash it away. I'll take 40 over the 20 or 15 that it's been.
Any day.
So on opening day in Easton, SHU led 3-2 after the first quarter with goals by Brian Massey, Alex Dodge, and freshman Max Tuttle, who recorded his first collegiate goal. Alex Dawes and Joe Sagassi scored in the second quarter, improving SHU's lead to 6-3 going into the half. The Leopards made it a two-goal game in the third, but Sacred Heart finished strong, outscoring Lafayette 5-3 in the fourth quarter. The Pioneers forced 22 Leopard turnovers, 8 of which were courtesy of Ryan O'Donohue. The Pioneers outshot Lafayette 40-25 and had 41 ground balls, along with 7 saves by goalie A.J. Boyd. Dodge had 2 goals and a team high of 3 assists. Tuesday, the Pioneers traveled to Long Island to face Stony Brook University at the Kenneth P. Laval Stadium. The Seawolves got off to a fast start with a 5-1 lead in the first quarter. Stony Brook seemed to put up a challenge for the Pioneers, scoring another 5 goals before the half. Junior Bryce had a career high of 3 goals and 4 points, while Julian Garitano added a pair of goals. But it wasn't enough to secure a victory as the Pioneers outshot 38-34. Final score 17-8.
For more on the 2016 lacrosse season, we head over to our Coach's Corner, where Taylor Krimmel is with head coach John Bosty and this week's Coach's Corner. Taylor?
Thanks, Adam, and thank you, Coach Bosty, for joining us in this week's Coach's Corner. Your team is already putting up some impressive numbers. Joe Sujasi, hat trick, and Ryan O'Donohue with 8 caused turnovers. Can you talk about their start to the season and how they're starting off on a really high note?
Of course. First of all, thanks for having me. This is pretty cool. Anytime we can get any information out there about our program or the athletic department and what we're trying to do over there, I think it's an important thing. So thank you. But for Joe came to us as a transfer from Drexel this year as a freshman, and he was a very good high school player. So we knew kind of what we were getting. We recruited him a little bit. I recruited him a little bit at a previous school I was at, so I kind of knew him a little bit, but not very well. And just meeting him on his first visit here last year, he was impressive. He was an impressive kid, and he's a 3.0 student, and he's very active with community service. But we were not surprised when he did what he did on Friday night. It's something that we see every day in practice, and so he's kind of prepared himself for this moment. I think he was pretty pumped up to be able to get out there and help the team do what we did on Friday. that's just the type of kid he is. He's a good teammate, and it was fun to see him be as successful. And Ryan O'Donoghue's been doing this for 3 years. He's a junior. He's been starting since he's a freshman. He's a tough kid. He's been battling through a ton of injuries. He always has, but he never complains. He just competes, and his compete level and his desire to be great is pretty high. You can just tell every day he comes to work, and he always has a smile on his face. He enjoys doing it, and he enjoys being with the guys. But his effort and his level of compete and excitement is always there. And so it was good to see that happen. But he's done that many times, so it's not a surprise to me and to us and to our program and his teammates that those two individuals did what they did. But I think they'll tell you a big reason why they did was because of their teammates. Put them in situations and positions to make those plays and do those great things. And that's what's great about our program is it's not all about one guy. It's one guy benefiting from the effort of so many others. And I guarantee you, if they were sitting here, they would say the exact same thing.
Okay, well, with the win at Lafayette, you're off to a 1-1 start for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's early, but where do you think your team is right now, early on in the 2016 season?
That's a great question. I feel like every coach in every sport, no matter if it's professional, college, high school, youth, you're always trying to figure out what your team is. I think we played last night. We played Stony Brook, and it wasn't the best result for us. We didn't play our best game, but there were a lot of good things that happened as well. And so I feel like for us, we're always building. We're always getting better. We're always trying to look to improve from the previous day or the previous game or the previous minute, really. I think for the one thing you could definitely say about our team is that we compete and we don't stop playing. And that's the thing that a lot of coaches have said to me in our games or after our games is we never felt comfortable. If they were winning or they were behind or if we were ahead, they were like, we could understand why. And it's just nice to hear that as a coach, that because you're always preaching never quit, never give up, and never stop playing no matter what. And I think our program exemplifies that, and that's what I'm learning about our team this year is we don't stop playing at all, and it's a good thing to have. It's something that you can rely on all the time, and so we'll continue to grow and we'll continue to get better. But I'm real excited about our prospects this year. I think we have a lot of really good players. We have some really good talent, and we're a good team. We're a good team where they're very good teammates and they care about each other and they take care of each other and they play for each other. So it's a good group of kids. They make it fun to come to work every day.
Yeah.
They do some silly things and they're knuckleheads sometimes, but that makes it even more fun. It's a great group. It's a really great group.
Great. Okay. And then on Saturday you play host to Dartmouth out of the Ivy League.
Mm-hmm.
So what can the fans expect out of this game?
I think you can expect. Well, Dartmouth is a very high. They have a very high talent level. They're from a lot of the kids that they recruit are from a lot of prep schools and a lot of private schools, and so those guys usually have that ability to really sling the ball around and be very active, have active sticks, and have real good lacrosse IQs. And so that's what we're expecting from Dartmouth. We've been game planning. We're starting game planning for them today. And so we'll do some film and some scouting report stuff today and do some stuff on the field for them and start walking through our game plan to try to beat them. But I think from our team, I'm pretty confident you're going to see a spirited group of people on the sideline. You're going to see a game that's very high tempo, very fast. We always preach playing fast, and it's something that it's not easy to do. But when you do it, it's fun to play that way. It's fun to watch. And so we always say, what I've told every single person that I've talked to when they've asked me that question since we got here 2 years ago, what can we expect from your program? It's like I always say to our alumni, to the people at Sacred Heart, and to the students, the faculty, the staff, our coaches, our parents, we're a program you can be proud of. And we're a program you can look at and say, they play hard, they're fun to watch, and they really play for each other, and they care about each other. And I think that goes from every facet of our team, from our athletic trainers to our strength and conditioning coaches to our administrators to our sports information people. We're a team, we're a family, and we treat each other as such.
Great. Okay. Thanks a lot for joining us in the Coach's Corner today, Coach.
My pleasure.
Best of luck with your game on Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Saturday, 1 o'clock. Weather's going to be nice, so come out and join us.
Yep, sounds like a plan. All right, Adam, back to you.
I will leg drop you.
4.
Thanks, Taylor. The Pioneers move on to host Dartmouth in its home opener this Saturday, February 20th. Game time is at 1 p.m. on Campus Field.
Pioneers men's volleyball team opened up EIVA play with their first win of the season, beating the number 15th ranked St. Francis Red Flash in 3 straight sets. Sacred Heart recovered from a 5-point scoring streak by the Red Flash to take the first set. The second set saw Sacred Heart jump out to an early lead, scoring 5 of the first 6 points. SHU led 16-5 at one point, and the Pioneers took the set 25-19. The final set mirrored the second as SHU scored early and often and took the set 25-18 to sweep the Red Flash. The win saw junior Chris DeLucy lead the team in kills with 13 and sophomore Joshua Eisenberg lead the team in digs with 12. Austin Arcala also had 6 blocks on the day. SHU moved on to face the 7th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions at the Penn Center as Sacred Heart would take the first set 25-21 before surrendering the next 3 sets to the Nittany Lions. DeLucy and Eisenberg were again major contributors on the day. DeLucy had 15 kills and Eisenberg had 17 digs. Coming back from injury to see his first action of the season, Austin Alcala averaged 4.8 points, 1.4 blocks, and 1.4 digs to earn his first EIVA Player of the Week of his career. The Pioneers will head down to West Virginia to take on the Golden Eagles of the University of Charleston on Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th.
Now let's finish out the week with a visit to Joe Massaro in the Update Corner. Joe, how did the rest of the Pioneer Nation fare?
Thanks, Hannah. This past weekend, the Sacred Heart bowling team finished 2nd overall in the 2nd straight tournament at the Golden Bear Classic. With a game average of 196, Sarah Rose earned herself a spot on the all-tournament team, while Corinne Marr finished just behind with a game average of 194. Their recent success helped the Pioneers maintain their ranking of 22nd in the country in February's NTCA Coaches Poll. SHU, who currently leads the Northeast Conference, has a short break before the final NEC match of the regular season in March. SHU tennis headed up to Yale for the weekend to take on Drexel and Colgate. Despite sweeping doubles, the men's tennis team suffered a tough 4-3 loss against Drexel on Saturday night, while the women's tennis also fell to the Dragons 7-0. The men bounced back on Sunday when they knocked off previously undefeated Colgate in a 4-3 decision to move back over 500. Sacred Heart swept doubles for the 2nd day in a row, with Brian Power and Matt Dean winning the 3rd consecutive doubles match. Power then won his singles match to finish the weekend with a perfect 4-0. The women also were victorious over the Raiders 6-1, moving to 2-4. The Pioneers took 2 out of the 3 doubles matches and swept singles play en route to winning their first match of the spring. Katie Dorenzo extended her team lead in wins to 7 with a 6-0, 7-5 victory at a first singles. Men's tennis will be back on the court Friday when they travel to Army West Point for a matchup with Marist, while the women will head back to Yale to play Hartford on Saturday. The women's ice hockey team finished up their season at home in a weekend series against Newman Knights. A third-period comeback fell short on Friday in a 4-2 loss that saw the Pioneers cut the lead to just 1 with 2 goals in the third period. Taylor Moreland buried her 11th goal of the season, while freshman Savannah Hersey scored for the first time in her collegiate career. SHU would end on the season at 500 with a 3-0 win over the Knights on Senior Day, with senior Amanda Fontaine getting the shutout with 31 saves. Fellow senior Casey Stadopoulos and Hannah Skelly each earned an assist, as did freshman Katie Stuvey, who also had a goal for her first career 2-point game. The wrestling team earned a 24-10 win over the Bloomsburg Huskies in Bloomsburg on Saturday to snap their losing streak. SHU won 7 of the 10 matches in their first away match since closing out the home season, and will head back on the road this weekend as they take on Franklin and Marshall. Women's lacrosse dropped their first season opener in a close game which was 15-12 loss at Marist. The Pioneers outshot the Foxes 35-27 in the matchup and were led by points by Caitlin Delaney, who finished 4 goals and an assist. Alyssa Pierce had 2 goals and 2 assists in the loss, and goalie Paige Hamonic made 7 saves in net. The Pioneers will hit the road again when they face Holy Cross on Saturday. That's all we have for Sacred Heart Athletics this week. Adam, take us home.
Great job, Joe. Thanks for the update.
Well, that's all we have today, Pioneer Nation. Come back next week. For Diana Canizaro, Taylor Krimmel, and Joe Massaro, I'm Adam Aneritone.